Friday, December 30th, UFC 141. Let's talk about John Fitch versus Johnny Hendricks. Both these guys were wrestlers. Johnny Hendricks was a two-time NCAA Division I champion. I think it was 2006 and 2007. And John Fitch wrestled for Purdue. Not as accomplished as Johnny Hendricks, but having said that, John Fitch has a record of 26-3-1 and 1 no contest. Johnny Fitch has a record of 11-1-0. But John Fitch has fought GSP. He had a 16-fight win streak. He lost to GSP, and then he's been on a 5-fight win streak and just had a draw with BJ Penn. So this guy's not a slouch.
No, I think he's one of those names in the welterweight division that if I was a welterweight, I'd never want to pull. You know, he's a pain. He beats just about everybody. I mean, his only loss right now in the UFC is to George. You know, so he at one point I think he was going for the most consecutive wins against Royce Gracie's 8-0 when he fought for the title at the time. And since then, his only other blemish is a draw to BJ Penn, which, you know, no slouch there. Obviously, if you follow the sport. So he's just one of those guys, though, that, you know, because of his style, because I think he's also, statistically, I think he's the leader for most decisions, too. It was either him or George or even a tie, I think, for most decision wins. So he doesn't get a lot of momentum as far as the fans go, as far as parlaying for a championship fight. So you don't want to fight the guy, because if you beat him, you know, people might not recognize it as much, but there's a good chance you lose to him. and you don't even look good in losing. It's kind of, he's like the black hole. You know, he's good at striking, you know, he moves around, but he's not going to knock you out, but he's going to hit you, close the distance, grab you, get on top of you, and just smother you and hold you down for 15 minutes, and you're just going to get beat up. And, you know, if you want to give up, I guess, and give him an arm, he's more than apt to take it. You know, he's very good at jiu-jitsu. But, you know, he just controls and grinds out matches, and you see the opponent's faces, it just looks like, you know, just despair, like, I don't know what to do, I can't get this guy off me. He's like a suction cup, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think John Fitch has the advantage standing up for sure. I think Johnny Hendricks is still a little bit, he comes from that wrestling background, so he's a little bit awkward. But I think wrestling, Johnny Fitch is more accomplished, so you could say he has the advantage there, but in MMA it's different. Right. So I mean, what do you think? Who do you think has the advantage? Who do you think is going to pull this fight off?
Well, you know, I give the slight advantage to Fitch because he's so good at controlling fights. He really has shown that in the octagon. I think Hendricks, though, he does have the superiority in wrestling. I can't imagine if they clinch that, you know, Hendricks is going to have the advantage there. And the other thing, too, though, that I think that still gives Hendricks a puncher's chance is that he really tries to hit people hard. Like when he goes out there, you see that aggression. Like he'll do a necktie, you know, collar tie, and then he's just firing uppercuts trying to, you know, knock your teeth in. So I think that, in a sense, makes it more exciting. I think it's more fanfare as far as, you know, fan favorable to view. But I think that power and that ability to want to try to grind you is what gets him in trouble with a guy like Fitch, who's just out to make sure if you make a mistake and he's not going to overextend himself, he's going to look for the takedowns when, you know, when Johnny tries to take his head off with a, you know, a powerful right hand, and then boom, he gets taken down. And then I think it'll be a very, you know, technical grappling match. I think that I actually am excited to see it because I like watching technical matches. I think that possibly some of the fans might not be as happy about it because both these guys might nullify each other a lot in the clinch.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say John Fitch only because of his experience. I don't think it's going to be a decisive win. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a 3-round grind fest, and I think it's going to be.
I would say that with Fitch.
Yeah, you know. So, but nonetheless.
I got Fitch also.
All right,
Same
we're both
way.
going Fitch.
I think that he controls him, and just I think we'll see Johnny going for broke, trying to hurt him, and you'll see that intensity, which I think will fare very well with the fans. I think they'll be behind him, but you're just going to see, you know, John Fitch is just like, you know, he's the thief, you know, you're coming to the window at night, right? I think he's just going to come away and just control it and win.
Cool.